Instant noodles. There's a huge variation of them out there.
Maggi is my husband's favorite instant noodle.
This one's stellar. And for as many variations of instant noodles, there's that many variations of how people put their own spin on them.
Whoa, I like the big chunks.
So today we're looking at 5 personalized instant noodle recipes from 5 different countries.
Hi Beryl, my name is Sarah and I currently live in Lille, a city in the north of France. The recipe I want to share with you today is a recipe for mushroom and cream instant noodles. It's very easy and quick to make. It's a bowl of vegetarian noodle soup. It has pretty basic toppings, but very tasty.
Oh my God.
Oh man, that scared me.
That scared the poop out of me. Jesus out of me? The bejesus out of me.
It feels very autumnal and warm and comforting. Well, it's not taking too much time to cook. It's not a stew. Since I have joint pain, it's pretty hard to stand for too long in the kitchen, even though I love to cook, so that's a good meal for when my pain flares up. It's pretty mushroom forward, but it's very rich and tasty and definitely not a diet recipe, but I like it a lot. I really like the mushroom texture that this dish has because you fry them up in the pan, so it makes them really firm and not too mushy or slimy.
This vegan oyster flavored sauce. Vegan oyster. This product does not contain an oyster. Okay. Whoa, that is potent and like mushroomy. I bet that'll be good in here with the other oyster mushrooms.
I came up with this idea when coming back late from work. All the shops were closed, it was night. I really needed something warm and comforting while also being a bit balanced. So if you add some protein on the side, like fried eggs, I usually use fried eggs, or tofu nuts, this kind of stuff, it can be a pretty balanced meal. There's not too many ingredients in this, and it still feels like a full meal. The vegetarian sauce is pretty useful, I would say. It's a good thing to have in your fridge. It adds a proper broth or stock flavor pretty instantly, and you don't have to cook for long. I hope you guys like it and you try it. People maybe are not used to having cream in their instant noodles. Have fun! Bon appétit!
I have not had oyster mushrooms in a while, and I have to say, I think that this instant noodle dish looks really beautiful. It is very mushroomy. That mushroom oyster sauce is honestly fabulous in this. I'm gonna get some oyster mushrooms. Ooh, come on, noodles. I think that you could use any type of mushroom if this is a dish that you wanted to recreate, but I do think that you need that oyster mushroom sauce. God, it doesn't roll off my tongue to say oyster mushroom sauce. I think it was actually just called vegetarian oyster sauce. These instant noodles are also really good. I don't think I've ever had this brand before. That little pot that I have that tipped over while I was cooking and scared the heck out of me. Oh my God.
Oh man, that scared me.
That little pot has been tipping over since day 1 of this channel, and everyone's given me a million ways to have it not tip over, but I think it just tips over. I think it's just not a great pot, and it's not balanced well until you put stuff in it. I'm really digging this one. I think the cream and the butter added makes it it is very autumnal, and it's perfect because it's, we're towards the end of the autumnal season right now. Yum. I would recommend trying this one. Any mushroom you want, but going with that sauce, I don't think you'd regret it. I live in New York City, which means I walk around a ton, through all of our boroughs, in fact. I'm somebody who likes to explore my city on foot. And some of my favorite shoes that I truly wear every day, and I'm not saying this because this is an integration with Vessi, but I do love them, are my Vessi sneakers. They are waterproof, they're cute, and they're insanely comfortable. The Weekend Chelsea is one of my favorite designs because there are no laces and they slip on so easily. It makes getting out to go a lot faster. New York City is a city full of weird random puddles and people spraying the sidewalks, and these shoes get me through there with dry socks. One of my favorite parts about the waterproof element is that they don't look like what you might think waterproof shoes look like. They look like sneakers that I love to wear. Beyond just exploring my city, they're the perfect shoes for early morning when Asha needs a walk and I don't feel like fussing with laces. So check out the Weekend Chelsea, built for anything with their cushioning and their amazing waterproof design. So you can stay dry and comfortable wherever your day takes you. Take advantage of Vessi's Black Friday sale and enjoy 40% off select waterproof styles at vessi.com.
Hey Beryl, my name is Erica. I live in Wisconsin in the United States, and the instant noodle technique I want to share with everyone today is cold dipping instant noodles. Now these noodles are inspired by a traditional Japanese dish called zaru soba, which is where you boil buckwheat noodles, or soba noodles, and serve them in little mounds with a dipping sauce or dipping broth, rather than just serving them in a bowl with a broth. The reason I think this dish is so delicious is because it's an utter inversion on the traditional instant noodle.
I have never had these type of instant noodles before, and I've never had this dish before where we're gonna put these in ice water and then dip them. I think I've seen them on the internet though, but I've never tried it myself. So I think this is like a cool instant noodle hack. Okay, next step. My freezer does not have an automatic ice cube maker, so I always have to fill up my own, and I feel like I always forget. And every time I'm like, oh, I need ice. There's never any ice. I'm curious how many of you have a refrigerator that makes ice automatically, because I'm jealous of you. I just feel like that's such a luxury. Like, oh. Also having a washing machine, that's a luxury. That's New York problems though.
Most instant noodles you have with a soup or with a sauce as a dry noodle, whereas this, you literally boil the noodles separately and then just serve them in a delicious cold broth, which makes eating instant noodles in the hot summer months a lot more bearable. I actually have no Asian heritage at all. I just have a great love of food from all cultures, and I've always wanted to try something like this.
It has some clumps in it from the powder of the packet, so I'm gonna strain this because nobody wants that kind of salt bomb in their mouth.
I love the idea of something traditionally served one way, served another, so cold noodles was something that was very interesting to me, and I love them. I think this is a delicious way to eat noodles, especially in the hot months, and I really hope you enjoy it. I hope they taste as good for you as they do for me.
Okay, this one might be a little hard to eat on camera because there's two bowls, so I'm gonna have to put them down, but don't make fun of me for my chopstick skills. I'm gonna drop a lot of noodles. I can already feel it gonna happen. That's too many noodles. That's not enough noodles. Come on, Mama Bear. Okay. How do I? That could have been smoother. That tastes amazing. That tastes amazing. Oh my God, I love this one. I'm going in for a second round already. That does not feel like an instant noodle dish. This feels like some sort of restaurant dish. It's definitely a little bit salty, so you don't want to keep the noodles in there for too long, but that salt factor is perfect for what I've made here. The hondashi is something that I don't use that often, but I happen to have it in my drawers, which I feel like happens a lot on this channel. I'm like, oh, I actually have this already because I've used it once and now I have it forever. Kind of like the ube coloring that I was like, oh, when am I gonna ever use this again? This is one of those ingredients that I bought. Let's all make bets as to how long this little jar of ube extract will remain in my house. A, forever, B, 12 months to 24 months, and C, I will just forget about it and not realize it's still in my house. But you never know. Someday I might need it again for the show. Everything else I think was pretty basic. The soy sauce, the mirin, the packet powder. Although the packet powder got a little chunky, so I had to strain it, but I think that was like totally fine. Let's go in again. This is a perfect summer dish. Even though we're in winter right now, the coldness of the noodle just feels so good going down your gullet. That's a weird word. I should have said throat. I just wanted to say the word gullet.
Hi Beryl, my name is Astha and I'm in Seattle, United States. I'm originally from India and moved here 18 years ago. And this is my daughter.
Hi, my name is Ashni and I was born in Oregon and I'm 9 years old.
The dish that we want to talk about is Maggi Masala instant noodles, vegetable version. It's made in many Indian households. It's basically the Indian version of cup noodles. And it has a spice mix that includes Indian spices like turmeric and red chili, giving it its nice yellow color and the spicy kick. And then people include a good mix of vegetables like onions, peas, carrots, a little bit of cilantro on the top to give it that extra boost and the extra Indianness. Maggi was something I grew up eating as a fun snack at home or a birthday party. And for me, it was a nice departure from typical Indian cuisine or Indian curries when other international cuisines were not very readily available in India. We didn't know anything about noodles and burgers growing up in late 80s and early 90s.
I like this dish because it's a combination of Indian food and noodles. I love spicy food. I love it when my mom makes it for me, and I always get to hear her childhood stories, and I love it when she puts extra spice.
I have never cooked Maggi this way in my entire life, and I have cooked Maggi a bunch of times. This one's super different. Maggi is my husband's favorite instant noodle. I feel like it's close to every Indian's heart. And I did a really interesting short about the jingle to Maggi and how it was a stolen song, and I'm gonna leave a link in the description, but it's quirky.
Maggi is common all across India. It was introduced in 1982 when women had barely begun to enter the workforce and support their families financially. During the time, India was also not that much exposed to international cuisines. Traditionally, Indians ate rice or wheat for their meals, and women just felt guilty for not being able to spend so much time cooking the traditional slow-cooked meals for their families.
Not to interrupt my final plating, but this is the largest block of Amul cheese ever. They didn't have anything smaller at the Indian grocery store. It's like the size or length of my head. So I'll be eating this for the next 10 years.
I use the regular Maggi 2-minute masala noodles that are available in any Indian grocery store and now actually even at Costco.
You didn't come up with the idea of Maggi with vegetables, but whoever did, they're a genius. Everyone should try this because it's really simple to make and 10 times more delicious to eat.
Thank you. Hope you enjoy.
To make this a little more Indian, I was told that I can top it with some Maggi hot and sweet. Anytime I'm told to do that, I will do that. If you still haven't been converted by me, or if this is your first time hearing about it, this is one of the best condiments ever. It's like a sweet and spicy ketchup. I love Maggi. The flavor of it's so nice because it's a little bit spicy. Adding all these vegetables makes it so much more filling, and they have like a nice little crunch still because they didn't cook or boil them for that long. I hate to say it, but the Amul cheese is really good. Not that I need that entire huge block of Amul cheese, but it is really good. It's a very highly processed cheese, so it'll probably last for a really long time without rotting, but it's got this very like balanced and light flavor. And the Maggi hot and sweet adds a little bit more spice and a little bit more sweetness. You could definitely find Maggi at literally any Indian grocery store because it is such a beloved instant noodle in the country. And the whole claim is that it only cooks in 2 minutes, although I think if you ask any Indian, they'll say it's a total lie and it doesn't cook in 2 minutes. But you can get it al dente in 2 minutes if that's what you're after. I love the peas. I think peas are just one of my favorite foods. And I've said so many times, I want to do a pea episode, but then like I can't help but say, I want to do a pea episode. And my childish humor wins out. But like, you know what I mean, not a pea episode, like a pea episode. Pea episode. Spicy, sweet, it's Maggi, so it's definitely delicious.
Hi Beryl, my name is Abha. I am from Kathmandu, Nepal, but I currently live and work in the United States. The dish that I want to share with you today is called nouilles-aux Chatpate. Chatpate is a widely available street food that a lot of Nepali people love.
I have made Wai Wai Chat before, but never with this many ingredients because now I'm just gonna be chopping for the rest of the video. I hope you enjoy footage of me cutting things.
This version of Chatpate uses instant noodles as the base. It also has boiled potatoes, green chilies, cilantro, red onions, lime juice, mustard oil, and a lot of spices.
Fun fact about Wai Wai, this is a Nepalese brand and the guy who created it is Nepal's first billionaire. I did a short about him and I'll link it in the description, but it's all about how Wai Wai came to rule Nepal.
It is a delicious, savory, sour snack that is a staple of a lot of young people as they grow up. I personally loved visiting little stalls right by the street with my friends when I was growing up.
So this, what I'm putting in next, is a kind of snack mix. It's one of Rajit's favorite things to munch on. It's spicy and a little bit salty. It's also, this one is made by a brand named Haldiram's, and when I did my Indian alphabet series, I talked about it for letter H, and I will link the whole Indian alphabet series in the description. It's really fun and you should check it out. Even if you're not from India, it's great.
I really love this dish and I think it is a little pocket of Nepal. I really hope you try it and I really, really hope that you like it. I want everybody else to try it too. I hope you all love it. Thank you. Bye.
Like I said, I've made Wai Wai Chat before, but it's always been super basic. This one is like a smorgasbord of toppings, which is very exciting. Ooh, and I got a big chunk. I like the big chunks. The potato's good. The nice thing about Wai Wai Chat is it is very customizable. Like, you don't have to go as hard as Abha did with their recipe, but you could add pretty much anything, I think, and it would be good. Okay, not anything, but like, you understand, within the realm of what I worked with here. Green peppers would also be a good addition. This is a really good party snack because it's super easy to put together and the noodles are pre-fried so you don't have to cook them. The only problem with this dish is it cannot sit for very long because then all of the noodles get really soft. So it's not something that you should make ahead if you want to serve it to people. You kind of have to make it right away, or even if you want to serve it to yourself. I would just make it and then eat it pretty much immediately. I bet you by the time I'm filming this, the noodles are already going to start to soften from all the liquids of the vegetables in here. They're still crunchy though. I want to mention we have a new artist behind me. Her name is Colors of Clara. You can learn more about her on my website, which I will link in the description. But I'm always looking for new artists to feature, so if you have one, send me an email. One last bite. This one's stellar.
Hi Beryl, my name is Fatima. I'm from Lebanon, but I live in Mashhad, Iran. The dish I want to present to you today is vine leaf Indomie. Vine leaf Indomie is a fusion between the Mediterranean, Lebanese, Turkish, Syrian vine leaf dish and the instant noodles. The dish is hearty, warm, steamy, flavorful, very comforting.
This recipe calls for parsley, not cilantro, and I'm using actual parsley. Proof.
It has onions and tomatoes, parsley, mint, tomato paste, pomegranate molasses, olive oil, which all gives it the exact flavor profile of our area, but without the hard work and labor-intensive job. It's a simple, quick dish. It's tangy, it's hot, it's very beautiful. The thing is, this dish being so new and recent, it's a TikTok/Instagram trend now, circulating especially in the Arab Gulf. For me, it has the fusion that is so much like my marriage. A Levantine person married to a Bahraini Arab, which, you know, the dish is like, it's the beautiful, deep, simple, herby, fresh flavors of the Mediterranean, along with the laid-back, luxurious, trendy lifestyle of the Gulf.
So now I'm adding espresso, which is definitely an interesting addition. This is a Cuban coffee from my coffee episode. So if you're a coffee lover, I'd recommend you check it out. But yeah, we're adding espresso to instant noodles. Who'd have thunk?
One more thing to say, which is a bit odd, is that I understand that in our cultures, many traditional people who love our cuisine would take it very seriously if someone tried to tamper with traditional, very important recipes like the vine leaves, which is understandable, you know, but hear me out here. This dish presents to me what it's like to bring something traditional that's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years to someone new, to a new culture, and add a twist to it. If you like to try the Mediterranean Levantine cuisine and you don't have the money nor the time, instead of going to a high-end restaurant and eating fancy Lebanese food, trying this dish is actually a taste of it. I hope you enjoy it, and I would like to hear about it.
It has that sour lemony smell from the lemon, but also from the pomegranate molasses. Whoa. It's sour tasting, but has a kick of spice from just the Indomie itself, but then the red chili as well. I love the tomato and onion paste in it. It makes the Indomie taste totally different from what you expect Indomie to taste like. I don't know if I taste espresso. Actually, I know it. I don't taste espresso, so I'm not really sure what it's doing in here. That's crazy. Other than like giving you maybe a little jolt of caffeine, which is not what I necessarily think I want out of instant noodles. I think it's interesting that this is a trend because who came up with it? Like, who was the first one who was like, this is how we're gonna make it? But also, who came up with putting the espresso in there? Oh, but I did want to mention, I have a lot of extra instant noodles from this episode, so if you want me to send you a pack with a little thank you note for supporting me, send me a DM on Instagram, and whoever sends them to me first, I will send packages of them too. I have a lot. I hope you enjoyed this episode, learning a little bit more about our personal instant noodle creations from around the world. In the meantime, I'm leaving you 2 more instant noodle videos to inspire you even more, and I'll see you next week.